Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Live Your Spa Life show. Spa Life is a lifestyle that accepts that accomplishment and harmony coexist. I am so thrilled to introduce to you today my special guest and dear friend, Liana Chaouli.
Hi, guys. Hi.
Oh, thank you. So good to be here. It's such a treat for those of you who get to visually watch us here either on Facebook or YouTube, that we're actually in the same room together. A lot of so close. Welcomed her to my studio. She was staying with me, and we're just like, it's time for you to be on the show and to be part of just sharing her brilliance in the world. And before we jump in, I just want to share with you guys who I don't know how you wouldn't know, but if you don't know this wonderful queen in the world, Liana is the president and founder of the Image Therapists International, and she is a globally recognized thought leader, best-selling author, style mentor, and international speaker. She transforms people, and I know this because I am a personal client of hers. For those of you who've always asked about what I'm wearing and what do I do, and this is my secret weapon that I'm bringing out and sharing with you guys. It's not so secret because I've shared her with so many of you out there, but she really helps transform people through the empowerment of their wardrobe. And she's been doing this for 3 decades. She consults CEOs, celebrities, political figures, and just all matters on their self-image. So, Liana, it's just so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you, guys. I'm so excited we're doing this. This is really cool.
It's really, really great.
Congratulations on all of this. This is amazing.
Thank you.
It's like you guys aren't here. And it's like I saw the background and the way that it's all happening. It's like kudos to you, honey. This is we've known each other for a very long time.
Yes.
So you guys are getting a very intimate look at this work.
Right.
And you're getting it from someone who's been doing it for a very long time.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so great because when I think about, in a lot of the Spa Life conversation, we talk about how we design our life and not live by default. And a really integral part in how I design my life is by using, my colors and my branding and all the parts that really show up as myself. And it's a big part of all the things that we have, these colors and that we have. And so, Liana, I'd love for you to kind of share just a little bit about how you design your life, that you don't live by default. You don't just let things happen. You're very intentional about that. And so what are some of the things that you're doing that you're intentionally living your life, which is that balance and that harmony for your spa life?
So that's a really good question, because the way that you live your life and the way that you impact people, I always say that my life is a matrix. It isn't just like, okay, well, this is this window over here and there's that window over there. And, if I can show this to some people and not show the other thing to another, I always say, wherever you go, there you are. Mm-hmm. And, actually on this subject, one of the biggest compliments I ever got on being authentic was when I was teaching on Jack Canfield's stage. Mm. So there was one vision of who I am. You have your own vision of how you show up in the world. And then I was in his closet and doing his wardrobe with his wife. And, they were like running around and we were trying on clothes and naked. And he said to me in the middle of all of this, he said, "Oh my God, Liana, you are the same that you are on stage as you are with us when we were private." And I think that for me, one of the biggest things in living the spa life is the authenticity that runs through. Mm-hmm. And that comes with intention. You don't just live life by default. I say to myself, what kind of life do I want to live today? What do I want to do today? Look, this whole event, this whole little thing that you're seeing happened with intention. Mm-hmm. We decided, I said to Diane, why don't we do this? Let's do this. And she goes, okay, great. So if you have a vision or a dream, or there's something lingering in your heart on a daily basis that you want to do, create it. And we create our lives in language. So when I make a declaration as to I want to do this, that declaration gets supported by an action. So taking a mindful action towards something that I really want to do, that's how I live my life.
Yes. You know, it's funny you talk about language because, I mean, you fluently speak 5 languages. And I look at just like wardrobe is a form of language.
It
It's how
is.
we communicate with
That's right.
other people.
Mhm.
So elaborate a little bit more about that, because I know, and then we're going to have the discussion about the black clothes because, you know, that's going to come up. Stay tuned for that. Right. But just that whole, when you choose, you know, and talk a little bit about that, you know, the canvas that we are and how we choose and how we're showing up in the world. You know,
Yeah,
it's talk about intention. This is a very intentional way of being and utilizing, you know, your clothes and your environment and the aspects of you to really communicate with people before you even open your mouth. They see you and they immediately have, what is it, like 3 seconds now that people make, you know,
less.
they see you and they have all kinds of, and it's not because you are wearing something, you know, expensive or whatever. It's really about how you're carrying yourself. And when you're in something that is in alignment and embodied, it makes such a huge difference. And this is just the foundation of your work. And I'd love for you to share, why is that so important?
So you just used that word. Dressing is an embodied action. It's like breastfeeding. It's like making love. It's like the things that we do automated. So when we embody who we are authentically, our second skin is the platter upon which we're presented. So your clothing is essentially your second skin to the world. It's the thing that is closest and dearest to us. It's closer to us than our lover. This is closer to us than our lover. It's closer to us than our breastfeeding child. I mean, it's on our body all the time. We don't go anywhere naked unless maybe once in a while we do. You know, some people sleep with pajamas. The thing that you want to remember is that the more intentional you are about reflecting this, having this come in with you and have it be the platter upon which you're presented, rather than having your outfit walk in a half an hour before you do. And that's all people remember. Remember that woman in that red suit? Oh my God, what about that red suit? No, I want you to be remembered, this to be remembered. I want the conversation that is about who you are to be the piece that people remember, not the clothes. So clothing is important, but it's not the most important. It becomes even more important as you grow through life. And the less the clothes are obvious, the better they're serving you.
Yes. So we might as well jump in here on the black clothes, right? So, I mean, how many of you had that, you know, that little black dress, have it have black, all the little questions around, you know, I maybe have a few pounds to lose, so I want to have black because then I can hide, or, you know, oh, I look the best in black. I mean, all of these things, you've heard them all. What is the story? This is the secret. This is not the time to go up and go get a glass of water. You want to hear about this, about tell us about black.
So black is the absence of color. You are a colorful being, just like a flower, just like the nature outside of your door. All of us are beings of color. If you look in nature, there's really nothing black except maybe charcoal, and that's about it, and lava, and there's no life there. So when you look at us, when we look at dressing in the world, I believe that black really silences the color of your skin. It silences your essence. It keeps you held up. I'm writing a TED Talk on not wearing black. I know that that's going to be really controversial. The truth is that you have your own personal black. Your personal black is a color, navy, burgundy, purple, teal, taken to its darkest level, and it has the value, the dark value of almost being black, but it's not black. So it's not silent. So black is a silent black, and you can have your own personal black. And I want you to try it out. Put black on one shoulder and put color on the other shoulder, dark color, and watch your face light up in a very different way. That's a great exercise to do, by the way. Do that.
You know, one of the things I found in just, you know, the almost 20 years that I've been doing work with you is that, and just so you guys know, in all disclosure, for me, when she first started working with me, I was just retiring from the police department.
Sure.
Everything I owned was black. It was very big and like 2 sizes too high, you know, big for me. And it just was a little bit, I was living in the uniform world, and I just had never been introduced to any concepts or anything around this. So if you're like thinking I've got, you know, everything in my closet is black, I feel you, I've been there. And just really walking through this, because this is something, and I definitely will circle around to this, where it's not a one and done. You know, it's something that really you have to see what resonates with you and what works for you. And, you know, I've got some colors in my closet that at first blush, they actually might even look black because it's such a deep color of plum or a deeper color of navy. And, you know, some people are like, well, why don't you just wear black? But the essence of that is something that is in my colors, in my eyes, or, you know, it's something that actually draws people. You know, they talk about how you're being magnetic in the world. It isn't necessarily what I'm wearing per se, it's how that energetically is in alignment with me that will draw someone in with me.
Yeah, and you guys can feel it. Like I have this exercise that I do in my Closet Cleanse Challenge, and I say to my clients, look, if you just do it for 30 days, just 30 days, 30 days will prompt you into a new feeling, into a new emotion. You need at least 30 days, and then you need 90 days to cement a new habit. But if you take your black, I know you guys are going to freak out when I say this, but just listen, just hear me out. Take your black and put it into a graveyard closet. Just go visit it, go mourn it, take flowers to it, say goodbye to it. Just don't wear it, okay? Just for 30 days. Get it out of your own closet, get the energy out, put it into a graveyard closet, and then notice what's happening with you. Notice how people are responding to you. I mean, Diane, you did it. You were, she was amazing. She came to this is like, I don't know, 15 years ago. She came to an event down here in San Diego. I was speaking once in the morning and once at night. Diane comes in the morning. She comes, her hair is all blonde. She's wearing all black. She's like asking all these questions. She comes back for the evening session. She had already gotten her hair dyed and cut. And she was like, what do I need to do? Just tell me what to do. I'll get on board. And it was amazing, her shift. And inside of these 15 years, there's been one shift after another. The more you have a problem and you find a solution, you want to implement it. You want to live it. And this embodied action of getting dressed takes a lot of practice. So you want to practice it.
Yes.
You do that really well.
Well, you know, we just kind of what we call, you know, playing in my closet this weekend of just spending time. And, you know, you would think after a lot of time, you know, you'd be like, oh, well, just send me the clothes, or, hey, you know, I can just put this on. But it's interesting because I learn something every time we're in my closet, because there are certain things, because as you shift and change, I mean, my hair used to be much darker when we first met. When she talks about dyeing, you know, I used to, when I worked undercover, my hair was all kinds of different colors. And so that shifted and changed. And with my hair color being a lot of different colors, it changed in terms of how my skin looked and what colors I could wear. So when she says I dyed my hair, I dyed it back to my natural color. And then as my hair became more white over the years, that also shifted certain values and things in my closet as well. And so I had to look at, you know, transitioning, because if I would have kept wearing things I wore 20 years ago, then
well, let's tell them why.
Right? Okay,
so
yes,
this goes silver, okay? And this isn't the only thing that goes silver. So this is in your bloodstream. So that the technical or the biological or the biochemical aspect of it is whatever is going on here goes on here, goes on in your eyes, it sallows the whole conversation.
Right. And just, you know, for those who are, you know, in the podcast listening to this and aren't seeing the visual and they're just able to hear this, what Liana's pointing to when she says this, she's talking about your hair and your skin and your eyes, that it's not just, let's say your hair is turning gray or white or getting lighter, it's also affecting how your skin and your eyes are also impacting.
Yeah. So for those of you this is your first intro to this work, it's called the process of image therapy because it's the PhD in design of who you are. There's not a box that I want to put you in. I want you to become so empowered through this process that no matter where you are in the world, no matter whose closet you're in, no matter what boutique you're in, no matter what kind of emotional state you're in, that you become empowered to access your own beauty. And this is for men and for women. So you are the palette, you are the folder, you are the binder. You know, you don't have to go outside of yourself looking for something that's going to make you feel better. And at the beginning of this process, in all of my programs, I talk about going inside. So image therapy is the PhD in design of who you are. And that design begins with your belief systems. So if I listen to you, or if I look at you and I see that you're like all crunched up and there's like sadness happening. It's like, you know, I can put the nicest clothes on you, or you can go out and buy a $5,000 Armani suit. It's not going to change the cemented belief system, the belief systems that are ossified inside you about the negativity, and my ass is too big and my boobs are sagging. What about this and what about that? And what, you know, these conversations that we have internally that are not serving your purpose. So
and this is where the retail therapy comes in, where people will go out and they'll buy things thinking it's going to make them feel better, which is why when I ended up in someone's closet and they have all these clothes with tags on them that they don't wear because it didn't help them, it didn't serve them, it didn't make them feel better, because it's not about the clothes.
Yeah,
right?
And you see it all the time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you see it when people are disorganized. You don't even have to be disorganized. You can just have a lot of stuff.
Right.
The stuff doesn't fill the hole. So when I say use your clothes as a platter upon which you are presented, it really is a toolbox. Your closet is a sanctuary, but most of the people that I encounter and that Diane encounters, they don't have sanctuaries. They have garbage cans, they have trash cans, they have laundry baskets, stuff more in, and then you stuff it. And then the minute you open the door, there's 15 million conversations going on, and adrenaline and cortisol, and wow, what am I going to do? And 15 sizes.
I got nothing to wear.
Right. So you have a closet full of clothes and you have nothing to wear. You want to go in there, you want to get dressed. Here's what happens. Your closet is empty, your bed is completely full, piled with clothes, and you're still naked, and you're going, oh my God, what do I do? And I want to tell you that it doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
Diane can tell you it doesn't have to be like that. Because the process of really understanding, I'm going to keep only the things that are perfect and beautiful. But first you want to understand what's beautiful on you, whether you're a man or a woman.
Right. Absolutely. You know, and I know, listeners, I know some of you are having, you know, pop up in your head going, wow, that seems like a lot of work, or it could take a lot of time. And, you know, one of the things we talk about, you know, on the show is about that sense of busyness. You know, everyone's like, I'm so busy, like it's this new form of addiction. And I know you guys are doing this, but, you know, it's about really looking at, you know, how are you being intentional? And so what are some of the things, not only in your work, but personally, that you are being, you know, intentional? We all have only 24 hours in a day, and some people do amazing things with it. So what are you doing to have more impact in your day?
So let me just share with you that, first of all, language is really important to me. So when you guys choose to use the word busy, it's not part of my life. There's certain things like I don't kill time. I'm not busy. I create my life in language. So my life is abundant and it's overflowing and it's awesome and it's amazing. And whether it's something that comes into my purview, or it's like right in front of me, or it's inside of my life, I look at it as an opportunity of growth. So the intentionality with which I live my life is very focused on what I can create all the time. Now, sometimes the glass of red wine spills onto the white outfit and I just go, okay, then I guess I was supposed to be a red and white Dalmatian today. See, it's my relationship with what's happening that can either be the most amazing or it can be the most horrible. And I always say, the first person I look into, the eyes I look into, unless it's my lover laying next to me, it's mine. So am I seeking my sister's greatness, or am I seeking her guilt? So the intentionality of my life is seeking my greatness and seeking the greatness in others every day.
Right. Yeah. It's so perfect. You know, a lot of times I think people don't make the association of their clothes and their wardrobe is really, it's a personal growth track. Right? Because when we put something on our body, what is the mental things that are happening? I mean, how many of you ladies, I mean, bathing suit season's coming. What pops up for you when that happens, right? It's like, what is all the mental things that go on in there of, you know, I'm too whatever. And, you know, it's one of those things that you have to continually grow into and expand the container of not only your mind, but who you're showing up for in the world. Right?
Yeah. And some of you are watching this or you're listening to this and you're going, really, what is this? Transformation through the empowerment of wardrobe. But if you get very quiet, very still with yourselves, the reason why I created this 35 years ago was because I saw the pain that women were in. And at that time it was only women. Now it's men and women. And I want to share with you, it doesn't matter whether you're royalty, and I just came back from a trip to Jordan, and there was a lot of royalness going on. Whether you're royalty, or whether you're a politician, or whether you're a nurse, or whether you're a school teacher, we all have conversations about this masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, the conversation is not about the fact that you're a masterpiece, but you are. And there will never be another one like you. And if you are seeking your own greatness, there is no room for guilt. You know, I want you to usher out the doubt about all of this. Because when you're focused on the doubt, there's no growth, there's no greatness. There's just a whole downfall and a down spiral on negativity.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say to me, how do I live my life intentionally? It's like, okay, where's all the joy? Where's the greatness? You know? Because even in the rejection, there's God's protection. So as you're looking at your life, as you're looking at your day, I always use my feelings as a barometer. How am I feeling?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm feeling crappy, yucky, disgusting, well, I go back to my thoughts.
Yeah.
What was I just thinking?
Mm-hmm.
You know that sentence, what was I thinking?
What were you thinking?
I was not thinking the things that I want to be thinking.
Right.
Because unlike a lot of the people in the world, you know, you can actually intentionally think about something.
Right.
You know, oh, that's not a great thought.
Mm-hmm. That's why they always talk about, you know, your mind can be a bad neighborhood. You don't ever want to go in there alone,
No,
right? And there's all the
say
things that happen. And, you know, a lot of it has to do too with who you're surrounding yourself with, who are the people that are, you know, not allowing you to have those thoughts about yourself. And what do you say about, don't say that about my friend?
Mm-hmm. I say, you're not allowed to talk about my client like that. Or, you know, I have clients or my friend says, oh, what about this? And where did this come from? And what about that? And what about my, I'm like, you're not allowed to talk about my friend or my client like that.
Right. You know, because we're the harshest critic on ourselves. And, you know, I know so many of you are out here to just do big work in the world and to serve and do these things, but, you know, you have to serve yourself first. You know, you are the asset of your life and your company. And if you don't take care of yourself first, you've got nothing to give to other people. So when you take care of this masterpiece and when you do the things where you're powerfully showing up in the world as your best self and utilizing all of these tools in that way, then you can really serve people and give them the permission to also be their greatest best self. I mean, I've had people come to me and they're just like, you know, yeah, you look great with what you're wearing, but they notice something where there's something energetically they almost can't put their finger on, right? Because it becomes, you know, it's kind of like this catch-22. Is it the clothes first or the person first? And how do they all kind of work together to show up with who that is and who you are being with that?
So there's a very symbiotic relationship between that.
Yeah.
And so some of you may know this story. That's the reason why I mean, I'm 58 now. The reason why I do what I do is my mom.
Mm.
Because when I was young, she was very ill and she was in bed a lot. And I used to go into her closet at 2 years old, 2.5 years old, and I would pull out the clothes and she was in bed and she couldn't follow my invitation. I'd lay everything out and I'd say, Mommy, can you please get dressed? Because when you get dressed in these beautiful clothes, you're going to feel better and then we can go out and play. And she comes to my events these days and she tells that story and she says, I couldn't follow my daughter's invitation, but you can. So please don't live your life in the sadness and the lack of self-acceptance. Because the truth is this, we have a symbiotic relationship with the clothes and with the way we look at ourselves and with the way we see ourselves in the mirror, whether you're naked or whether you're dressed. And I go through that. I mean, you know, 2 pounds up, 5 pounds down, 3 pounds down, 5 pounds up.
In one day.
Yeah. Listen, menopause is like in the middle of all of this, okay? And it doesn't make it easy. But the truth is, at the end of the day, it's my intention. It's what I choose to hang on to, what I choose to believe in. And am I choosing to hang on to clothes? Am I choosing to hang on to old stuff? What am I choosing? Where do I want to go? What do I want to create with my life? And your closet, which can be a sanctuary and should be a sanctuary with candles and beautiful lighting and beautiful images. If you have that, it's a grounding place for you to start your day and to end your day.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, it's funny when I'm working with my clients, one of the things I always say is that your closet can either be the best part of your day or it can be your first stressor of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And creating those environments, you know, really make a difference in how you express your life, which, you know, leads me to one of the questions I always like to ask my guests is because environment's everything. I mean, how you create your environment and how you are you know, in your bedroom would have you feel a certain way, or in your office you feel a certain way, or in your kitchen you feel a certain way. So, and I know you're in transition and creating things in your space, right? But if you were to look at what you are creating right now in your space, you know, what would you say would be your favorite space and why?
My favorite space is my bedroom. Okay, so I have to tell you, for 20 years, I haven't had a television in my space. I don't have a TV anywhere, nowhere in the house, by the way. No TV. If I want to watch a movie, I go on Netflix. So my favorite space is my bedroom. In the transition that I'm in, it's most probably, I don't know, maybe the living room, maybe the bedroom. But I can tell you that wherever it is, there's an energy of groundedness. And that's what makes it really, you know, I love feng shui. I love Diane's work. And for me, the transition that you're talking about is about letting go of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not just letting go of old story. That's not just letting go of the thoughts. But for me, it's physical, because I am so attached to some of the things in my life. But I've done so many moves. And now it's time to let go.
Right. Well, and I'm so proud of you of what you're doing right now, because, you know, being in your space and you have such, you know, beauty in your space, and you've got areas that you're in transition with in your space.
Huge.
Right. And so, you know, this is such a great indicator of when you're trying to be, you know, elevate to the very next level and the next iteration of who you're going to be in the world, you have to let go of some of those things that are anchoring you in the past. And so to be in that space of openness, knowing that on the other side, there's this greater version of yourself, the environment is amazing. So as I'm working in like the physical space to help people in that, and you're looking at the body and the embodiment of what that's such a symbiotic type thing where, you know, you've supported me and I've supported you. And so many of these things, it's like, you know, reaching out and knowing. So, you know, listeners, as you're really hearing this story and this really transformation, you know, among friends and colleagues and mentors and peers of what we've created here all this time, you know, if you're thinking like, wow, you know that you're stuck in some way and that you're not really expressing yourself in what that is, I know that you have a special gift for our clients.
Yeah, guys, you know, I want you to know that a lot of the times we don't know that we're asleep. Okay. So you might be listening to this podcast, or you might be watching this, and you might go, really? I never thought about my closet like a sanctuary, or that my clothes are my second skin. And there's something inside me that just kind of like lit up. So if that's the case for you, and it was just one word or one sentence or, you know, something that you heard in the background and that your soul spoke to and you felt. So I want to give you the foundation of this process on how to really find the beauty in who you are, because there is a system. This is not by default. Nothing that we do is by default. You can find the system on what looks amazing on you, because you are the palette. So I invite you to go to lianasgifts.com, LIANASGIFTS.com. Sign up and you'll get a sequence of a bunch of emails, and you will learn so much. I've heard people say, oh my God, Liana, I just got your amazing gift and it's already changed my life. I started taking stuff out of my closet. So know that it's very empowering, because the knowledge and the wisdom that you get to learn really can help you get started. And then call me, send an email to Liana at Image Therapists. Keep in touch with us on Facebook. I think you're going to.
Yes. All that'll be in the show notes. So, you know, you'll be able to either grab it here with the links she just gave you, or it'll be in there to be able to, you know, check that out. So we definitely want you to be able to, really start embodying this work and what that looks like. And, if some of you are tuning in and going like, what is this conversation around, spa life and how can I have more balance and harmony in your life? I also have a gift for you where you can really, because awareness is the first aspect of just knowing what is going on in your space and what's working and what's not working. So you can go to liferesetquiz.com. Again, that's liferesetquiz.com. It takes 4 minutes. And, again, what our gifts that we're looking at here is having that awareness. Where can you take those first steps? What's happening for you, in your mindset or your physical space, or are you taking care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So being able to look at that.
What I want you to remember every time you look at style, STYLE, style stands for seek to transform your life every day. Because with clothing, you can actually do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, so good. Thank you so much for being here on the show. So good to have you
here.
Love you guys. And, for those of you who are following us here on Facebook or on YouTube, please put in the comments, what was the aha that you got? What's that one thing, that one step that you're going to do? What was just something that was mind-blowing for you? What's something that you want to share? And definitely please, subscribe and share with other people, because we really want to get this work out in the world so they can start impacting people. Because, if you've ever had that experience of where you haven't felt that great in your body or in your space, this is really transformational work that's really helped people. So please make sure that you tag both, myself and Liana. We're happy to come around and, respond to any of your questions and to support you in any kind of way to be able to do that. So again, thank you so much for being here. And listeners, as always, live your spa life. Bye for now. See ya.